organization.
Well, from Jake Murray, the pick of the Erie Otters, we're going to move on to maybe the world's biggest Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Steve Dangle joins us on the line. There's Steve joining us from his famous Leaf headquarters, I like to call it. Steve, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Excellent. Welcome to the OHL Priority Selection. You've had a chance to keep a close watch on the OHL. We've seen your highlight videos and some of the crazy plays and exciting plays from around the Ontario Hockey League. How much fun have you had with those this year?
Oh, so much. I've said for a long time that on ice, hockey's in a really good place. Like we've never seen this much skill, this abundance of it. It used to be stop the presses when someone did anything, a pass or a shot between the legs. Now it just seems like everyone can do it. Nick Lardis, we featured just recently for doing just that in a playoff game, no less. It's been a lot of fun.
Steve, I think what stands out doing those weekly videos is that you've always got something to choose from, though. I mean, junior hockey, there's going to be mistakes. You're going to have players take chances. That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
100%. Like, I admire you if you're able to do the trap, if you're able to shut it down and everything, but I'm not cheering for you to do it. I'll take a 6-5 game in overtime any day, and Junior's full of it.
Obviously, we see you, over the years with, following the Toronto Maple Leafs and frustrated by the Toronto Maple Leafs. I remember seeing you around the 2011 Memorial Cup back in Mississauga, and so you've seen lots of the OHL over the years. I'm sure you keep a close watch on the OHL players. Look at Easton Cowan and a Ben Danford and players like that. But I've got to think, just enjoyed over the years keeping close tabs on what goes on around the OHL.
Well, first of all, I don't know what's ever given you the impression that I've ever been frustrated. I take pride on being very level-headed and calm, and it's been a rough go for the blue and white. But no, I've always kept tabs. When I lived in Oshawa, I lived there for 9 years. I tried to get out to as many Jenny's games as I could. We had Steve Dangle podcast night with the Kingston Frontenacs, and they won this year. We did it last year and they lost, and they blamed me for it. But no, this year they had a good time and been keeping tabs. Like some of my favorite players to watch this year. Nick Lardis has been incredible. Ilya Protas. And I mean all the London Knights guys. I mean not just Easton Cowan. I mean, makes sense that I would keep tabs on Easton Cowan, and of course Jenny's captain, Ben Danford. Man, he lights guys up like a Christmas tree, doesn't he?
He certainly does. The Leafs there tapping into the OHL, and can't blame him. We watch Mitch Marner each and every season, former London Knight. Your network, though, has been a great partner with the OHL this season. Talk about Steve Dangle, the entire world around you. Was there a trip to San Jose recently as well? There
was. Where's my jersey? Right here. I just... yoink, pulled that from out of my bag of tricks like Wile E. Coyote. It's taken us all over. And I honestly think the OHL is at least partially responsible for that trip. We've done these really fun engagements with the Frontenacs, with the Generals. We're looking to do it with more teams, but the San Jose Sharks have obviously been keeping tabs on Major Junior on account of they've been in the lottery, these last couple of years, and there's a lot of good prospects. But I think part of the reason they invited us out was because of what we've done with the OHL. And I love Ontario. I love the place where I'm from, but man, a few days with those palm trees and 28-degree weather, that was all right.
I always joke, OHL territory includes Florida. I could spend lots of time in Florida in January and February watching maybe prospective OHL players. Talk about, Steve Dangle night in Kingston, and I'm sure it's one thing to be around the players, but the fans. And that's the one thing about junior hockey is how it's entrenched in the community, and of course with the Frontenacs, entrenched in the community of Kingston. How much fun was that just being around the rink, being around the fans that night?
So much fun. They're loud. They're not embarrassed. They're not ashamed. They're loud and proud. Sometimes, especially in Toronto, it can be a bit of a stuffy atmosphere, and everyone's waiting for someone to make a noise, and then no one actually does. And when someone finally does, maybe 2 or 3 Go Leafs goes, and then we quiet it down. There's none of that in Kingston at all. My most memorable thing from that night, however, was Jacob Battaglia. He was a guest of ours, and he got off stage while we continued the rest of the show. And when I got to the back after we had recorded the show, I discovered that not only had Mr. Battaglia left, but he had also eaten my shrimp tacos before he left. So you owe me tacos, Bates.
Well, he might be able to buy you some tacos here down the road. He's got quite the future in front of him. So is this something we could see expand to maybe some other OHL markets, these Steve Dangle nights?
100%. We're always on the phone, trying to reach these teams. We had a couple that got close but fell through due to time constraints, and that's okay. We're hoping to get more. Love Kingston, love Oshawa, but we're willing to travel far and wide. Anyone who wants us, you'll have us.
Steve, for people not familiar, give us the quick background story of how the whole Steve Dangle podcast and everything came into existence.
I started a YouTube channel when I was 19 in 2007. So quite a while ago now. It didn't feel like it for a long time, but now it does. Made a video after every single Leafs game. And in 2013, myself and Adam Wilde started the Steve Dangle podcast, and Jesse Blake joined us about a year later. We started out, we all are still pretty open about the fact that we cheer for the Leafs and that's our team. But we talk about the entire NHL, and we really pride ourselves in doing it in an unbiased way. And when we do have a bias, we're open about it. Like the other day, I made a video about Ivan Demidov signing with the Montreal Canadiens, and if you go and look at all the comments, it's just full of Habs fans telling this Leaf fan what a good job he did, not being biased towards the Habs and talking about him objectively. So our mantra is sports are fun. There's a time to be serious for sure, but the vast majority of the time, we're just looking to have a good time when it comes to hockey. So if that's the sort of thing you want with your hockey talk, that's what we got.
Well, the playoffs are rolling in the OHL. The NHL playoffs are just around the corner. Can we assume then you're rooting for the Oshawa Generals at this point then? Is that where your allegiance going to lie here? Or are you over to Easton Cowan and the Knights? What are we looking for here?
Well, we got an event in Peterborough tonight, so I don't know if you're trying to get me beat up or what. No, the Jennies will always have a soft spot in my heart. Just don't show them the Pete's jersey that I'm going to be wearing tonight.
As someone from whose hometown is Peterborough, I know exactly that rivalry, and I always say it is the greatest rivalry. Before we let you go, Steve, I can't help but notice in a very blue Toronto Maple Leafs decorated room, yes, there's a Stanley Cup in the corner. I didn't think those two went together.
That is the Jeremiah Coughlin Cup that I was fortunate enough to win this past year again as the top fundraiser at the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic in support of Easter Seals, which helps out kids with physical disabilities. I would like to have a actual Stanley Cup beside it. I think that would really tie the room together, but I don't have much say in the matter, unfortunately.
I knew there was some great work involved with Easter Seals, so that's why I had to kind of work in a little jab, but at the same time give you a chance to plug the real reason for it as well. Steve, we appreciate the time. Certainly enjoyed the videos this season. Enjoy the time. Have fun in the Lift Lock City tonight.
Thank you very much. Good luck, eh?
There's Steve Dangle joining us here, Steve Dangle Podcast, and certainly a guy who's been, kept close tabs on both the Leafs and junior hockey over the years. I remember crossing past the 2011 Memorial Cup, and he's right, time flies. He was talking about starting the YouTube channel in 2007, 2011 Memorial Cup. I don't want to do the math. I already know how many years ago that was, and time certainly flies. But, we talked, and you were talking about, Steve, about it, just the excitement, the creativity. I think, years ago it was just the whole dump and chase, play the trap, pucks in deep. Now players are allowed to showcase the skill they have, and we're seeing so much wonderful skill on display night in, night out in the OHL.
Yeah, we do. It's a blast. I mean, the OHL plays of the week, every single week, I think we watch them and go, that could have been the goal of the